What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gooner channel. 100% dedicated to the Arsenal, who, as we all know, are by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. And, well, this morning, the transfer window may well have opened, but the curtains are still very much drawn. Arsenal fans who woke up this morning optimistically hoping to see Declan Rice paraded in an Arsenal shirt, or Moses Caicedo, or Ilkay Gundogan, João Cancelo, or even Xavi Simons, or one of the big names we've all spoken so much about in the run-up to this transfer window opening, are going to have been disappointed. Now, I think there's some very good reasons why those haven't been done. I want to get back to those in a minute. But before we talk about the transfers I want to see come to Arsenal, we've got to talk about one that I really don't want to see come to Arsenal, and that's Kai Havertz. Today has been all about the apparently confirmed proposal that Arsenal have made for Kai Havertz to Chelsea. Now, Chelsea signed Kai Havertz in 2020 under Frank Lampard, and they did so for, I think, around 70 million euros, and are looking to get most of that fee back. I don't get it. This is one I just do not get. I wouldn't know where we were planning to play him. But let's have a quick look at him, shall we? Because he was signed by Frank Lampard in 2020. He got 1,600 minutes, scored 4 goals, got 3 assists. Very good pass completion and a very poor tackle completion, which you would expect from a forward. Obviously, Lampard didn't make it and Tuchel came in. Now, when Lampard first started playing him, he was very much playing on the right in that kind of Saka position. He's left-footed and he was coming in and obviously wasn't providing the goal threat or the assists, but the theory would have been that he would play very much like Saka. Under Thomas Tuchel, he played across the front three much more, playing in that false nine, which he likes to play in. But again, if you looked at his goal return in that season, he played 1,900 minutes, almost 2,000 minutes, 8 goals, 3 assists. Again, good passing percentage, if not as good. His tackling got better, and it was an overall good season, but certainly nothing to write home about. And then obviously Tuchel goes in September of this season and is replaced by Potter. Potter again plays him very much on the right, coming inside, and we see. Well, look, he played something like 30 matches under Potter, 2,574 minutes, got 7 goals and 1 assist. Not spectacular. And look, I know it's been tough at Chelsea, but at a certain point, if it's been tough at Chelsea, you have to look at the players they've been playing, and Havertz is one that they've kind of stuck with. He's tall. He's taller than the players we have. But the issue is he's definitely not better than Saka. He's not an upgrade on Saka, and I don't see him playing in the Odegaard position. That false 9, we've got Trossard, we've got Odegaard, we've got Emil Smith-Rowe, we've got Vieira. Both of those players I would put ahead of him. And on the left, well, he hasn't done a great deal from the left, and maybe that would work. But I wouldn't drop Martinelli or Trossard or Jesus or any of those players for him. My thoughts immediately went to, is this somebody that we're thinking could play in the 8 position? Yeah, but he hasn't, and I don't see it. Now, it is worth saying, in the interest of, I don't like Chelsea. I don't like any of their players, really. I like Jorginho when he signed him. I don't think it's all about the fact they're Chelsea players. I just do not get this one at all. But then, like I always say, I'm not an expert. When you think that apparently in for him are Bayern Munich and Man City, something I'm not seeing. Maybe he is exactly the missing piece. He does score about a third of his goals with his head, but, you're not talking about a lot of goals. The goal contribution really hasn't been that great. And I think the statistic that I find most interesting about Kai Havertz is not the goals he scored, it's the goals he hasn't scored. If you looked at missed chances, he missed 9 chances in his first season. This is not big chances. 12 in his second season and 14 in his third season. Apparently, one of his key attributes is that he's cool in front of goal. I don't see it. Now, he did score the winning goal for Chelsea in the Champions League final. That is a big deal. But Chelsea fans aren't bothered about losing him. I think that says a lot. Interviewed this season about where his best position is, he said, look, everyone asks this question, and after 3 years, you should know where my best position is. Yeah, you should do. We should know where his best position is. If his best position is on the right, cutting in, well, he's only back up to Saka, and a very expensive one at that. He says of himself, I like to be in the box. I like to score goals. I like to arrive in the box often, and I don't care if I'm in there as a 9 or a 10. I like to score goals. But you haven't. He has been prolific for Germany. I'll give him that. But, when you're looking at international sides and you see prolific goal scorers, you don't want to forget that sometimes Germany are playing Liechtenstein or, for me, this would be a truly disappointing signing. At anything approaching 70 million, it will really put a damp squib on the whole transfer process, because so many people have been talking to me about, can we afford, 90 million for Rice? Yeah, I'm sure we can. Can we afford to buy Rice and Caicedo? I think we can. But maybe we can't if we're going to go and splash 70 million, unless there is just a Stan Kroenke, now that Denver Nuggets have won, checkbook out situation. Personally, I really hope that this one, my hope, and this is just coming up with a reason to be happy when I'm not about this particular rumour, is that perhaps what we're doing is some clever kind of ploy to make Man City buy him or Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich do need a striker. There has been talk about Harry Kane. Obviously, one of the world's best strikers now available in Kylian Mbappe. Whether they'd spend that kind of money on Kane or Mbappe, I don't know. Kai Havertz, I think, up front for Bayern makes a lot more sense than trying to figure out where he's going to play. I can't just see where he's playing at Arsenal. If I've missed something or don't understand something, please let me know. I have had this on-off conversation with my best mate about it. I'm going to say what I keep saying is I've seen him play and he just doesn't impress me. I'm hopeful that this is not going to happen. Coming back, though, to the reason that we haven't seen Declan Rice in an Arsenal shirt yet, this is business, and this is business for large amounts of money. It's quite obvious that Declan Rice wants to come to Arsenal, and it's quite obvious that Arsenal really want him to. We know that West Ham are going to want as much money as possible for him. There's been a lot of talk about West Ham being interested in several of our players and also interested in Paulinho at Fulham, which I think is interesting because that's a player I'm surprised Arsenal haven't been linked with. He's a bargain at the money. He's apparently buyout clause 30 million. He is a tackling machine and would be brilliant at protecting a back four. I'm surprised we aren't in for him, but I will say this. I'd love West Ham to do great business if they sell us Declan Rice, and so there's been talk that they're after Paulinho, which I'm not sure the Fulham fans are keen on, or even the Fulham board for that matter. There's been speculation that they're not going to allow that. I don't know too much about that, but with a situation where West Ham want a lot of money, but it's really going to come down if Declan Rice doesn't want to go anywhere else. They can't really expect to get the same amount of money as if there were a bidding war. There clearly isn't a bidding war at the moment for Declan Rice, but it would therefore be in their interest to wait and see if they could generate one. Similarly, Arsenal are in no hurry. If they honestly don't think Declan Rice will go anywhere else, why would they push for this to be done as quickly as possible? And at this point, it really looks like Edu and Arteta have done their business early, talked to the player plenty, and he has decided and set up on the Arsenal project. We can be gazumped. It does happen. It happened with Modric, famously with Chelsea, although in hindsight, that was one of the best things that could have happened. It happened with Martinez when we wanted him and he went to Manchester United. But again, we ended up with Zinchenko. So it's not always a bad thing if you lose out on your top target. But for me, Declan Rice is hugely important this summer. He solves a lot of problems. And from people who've played with him, like Jack Wilshere, who say, this is a player who's only just started to show what he's capable of and could very easily be a future Arsenal captain and can play in the 8, the 6 and even centre-back, is versatile, ticks all the boxes for an Arteta signing. But neither side is in a hurry to get this done. When it comes to Moises Caicedo, similarly, some of the speculation has been that we upset Brighton by making a bid for their player. I'm not sure that I'm picking up any of those signs. I think that we actually acted very respectfully in pulling out of trying to sign him because they wanted him to be part of their challenge to qualify for Europe for the first time. That's happened now, and there is apparently some form of gentleman's agreement, if not a buyout clause, to let him go. And Brighton are an honourable club. I can't see them trying to hold on to him. It's always possible that Chelsea could come in for him, but Chelsea don't offer him Champions League football. And as an outsider looking in at Chelsea, this isn't probably the best time to want to join them, right? I'm not sure about Pochettino. I did a video yesterday about the time at Paris Saint-Germain. It wasn't particularly exciting from Poch there. He's got a similar issue at Chelsea as he had at Paris Saint-Germain. Loads of egos, loads of players who don't really know what they're doing there yet. Long-term contract and a lot of players to get rid of before he can get down to the nub of the team that he wants to manage. Does that sound appealing? I don't think so. Moises Caicedo, though, at 21, leading the league in interceptions and tackling, is the sort of player that is in the position which is very sought after at the moment. We've seen Jude Bellingham go to Real Madrid. We're seeing Declan Rice hopefully come to Arsenal. Defensive midfielders are a premium. Rodri is the gold standard of these. You see what happens when he plays well in the Champions League final. Casemiro at Man United. They are the linchpin of any successful side. So I wouldn't expect Caicedo to go cheaply, and then you're waiting for Brighton are waiting for the best offer they can get. All the other teams are going to have their say in this. This one could drag on weeks. As for Ilkay Gundogan, all the news is Barcelona made a really big play for him, and they've opted out of chasing both him and João Cancelo so that they can really get Ilkay Gundogan. I don't have any inside information on this, but would you leave the treble-winning Premier League team to join the second-place team? It's probably better that he goes to Barcelona and has a chance to play for Blaugrana's, one of the best-known teams in the world. As for João Cancelo, I think I'm more hopeful about that one, but again, where's the urgency? I don't think we want to sort this position out if we're going to have to spend about 40, 50 million if we are really trying to sort out and do business in other positions. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching to this point. And if you have and you like it, then hey, why not click like? It makes all the difference to a new channel. And just one more thing. If you haven't subscribed yet, anyway, let me know in the comments. I really want to hear what you think about. I want to know if I'm missing something really obvious about Kai Havertz. Is he a phenomenal world-class player? Let's have a heated debate. Anyway, until I see you again, lots of love and be lucky.